This is Rich from Insta360 and today's video is going to be a little bit different because we're going to go on a ghost hunt with the Insta360 ONE X and we're going to see how it performs as a vlogging camera. So let's get straight to it and I'll catch up with you at the end of the hunt. Tonight I'm on my way to a ghost hunt at Shepton Mallet prison. Whoop. The camera is attached to the steering wheel, so you got a nice shot of my groin then. I'm taking the GoPro and I'm taking the Insta360 ONE X, and plus I've got a trail camera as well, which I'm looking forward to using the infrared functions on that camera. So I've no idea what to expect in terms of how much light we've got. I mean, we will be using torches at times. There may be some ambient light there. Shepton Mallet prison's a 400-year-old prison. It's got a lot of history. There's apparently been a lot of paranormal activity that's gone on in the prison. The thing that I like about Southern Ghost Society is they're a great bunch of people and they've got a really realistic approach to ghost hunting. Yeah, they haven't got the most haunted feel where they're all jumping around and every single noise they put down to being paranormal. They dismiss everything at first and try and find a reasonable explanation, and once there's no reasonable explanations left for what people hear or what people see, then at that point they have to say, is this paranormal activity? You know, they're not there to make you jump, and they're not there to make you believe in ghosts. In fact, a number of them are probably just as sceptical as I am, and as sceptical as a lot of people are. I say that people are sceptical, but one of the facts on the Southern Ghost site is that 57% of the British population do actually believe in ghosts. So why am I going on a ghost hunt? Well, I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm curious, and I think we're all curious about the paranormal stories and the paranormal activity that we hear people talk about, or videos that we see. I love going to places that have got a lot of history, you know, really interesting old buildings, derelict buildings, abandoned places, and usually these are the places that we do the ghost hunts in. I think those places are just really fascinating places, and you can imagine what it was like to be in these places 100, 200 years ago. And you usually go to these places out of hours, so there's no one else there. It's really quiet, it's really dark, there's an eeriness about it, which I also like. I'd like to experience something where I could go home and say, you know, wow, that was something that I cannot explain. Everyone should do a ghost hunt at some point in their life. I've just entered Shepton Mallet, so I should see signs for the prison soon. It's just started to rain and it's getting dark, so all we need now is some lightning and it'll be a perfect setting for a ghost hunt. Definitely looks like it there on the left. Saw some barbed wire at the top. This is a tight entrance to the prison. I've just made it around that corner. So I've arrived at the prison and we're just going to do a walk around outside. This place is amazing. Everything's open. There's only a few of us here tonight. We've got the run of the whole prison, so all the doors are unlocked everywhere. First thing we had to do is do a walk around in the prison so we could familiarise ourselves with where everything was, because it's just a maze of corridors and hundreds of doors. The Southern Ghost team would set up various bits of kit in different positions, so we'd have static infrared cameras, motion sensors and audio recorders and various other items that would help with the investigation. All this material would then get analysed later after the ghost hunt to see what they've discovered. If any noises or anything is seen throughout the night, then a note of the time is made, and then they can reference the video and audio material from that specific time to see if they've captured anything on camera. And a lot of Southern Ghost events are also live streamed.
So they would have had it quite a few days before.
We explored the prison in sections because the prison was huge, and we had to have a systematic way of investigating the prison so that it's easier to log any activity. There were two main teams investigating the prison, and we'd take one section at a time and then swap over throughout the night. Those individual teams would then split off also into smaller groups of 2s or 3s, or you can even go off on your own. One of the best bits for me from that night was going off on my own and crawling through the hole into the prison cell from the 1600s. The cell was about 5 foot by 4 foot and was really claustrophobic and had a real eeriness about it. For the final part of the night, our group all sat together in one of the wings of the prison, and we were surrounded by various paranormal gadgets, heat sensors, various meters, motion sensors and cameras. Spending a night in the prison was an awesome experience, and although I didn't particularly hear anything or see anything that I would deem as paranormal, there's lots of material that will now be analysed by Southern Ghost, and then they will report their findings on their website. So how about the camera's performance as a vlogging camera? Well, I personally thought the camera performed really well. I didn't give it much to work with. I used 2 small torches and made it work under really hard lighting conditions. And of course, because I was pushing the camera, the blacks are really grainy and they're a little bit muddy, there's not much detail in them. But is it a usable image in the context of how I was using it in a ghost hunt? You know, could you sit there and watch it? Well, yes, I think that it's 100% usable. Of course, it's not broadcast quality, but we're not pretending it's a broadcast camera. We're saying, does it work in the vlogging arena? And I think we have pushed it in this instance. We've used it as a basic camera. We haven't done any fancy shots with it. It's just me talking to the camera and guiding you through the hunt. And I think actually it works really well. Also, from a technical point of view, it didn't particularly like some bits of the environment in terms of white balance. The white balance would change every now and then, but I think it adds to the rawness of this shoot. If I was to do it again, I should probably use a torch with a wider beam just to illuminate a bigger area. But the problem with a ghost hunt is that you don't want to illuminate everything, and then you've got light bouncing off of various bits and pieces and reflecting, and then you give other groups false readings for their findings because they can see flashes of light everywhere. The ability to not point and shoot, but to shoot and then point the camera later in the edit is still a major selling point for me with the One X. For this ghost hunt, I held a torch out in front of me, a torch on my face, so I knew I had those 2 areas illuminated, but I didn't have to think about what bit I'm going to choose until later on in the edit. I could just walk around the prison and then select the bits that I thought worked later. With regards to the sound on the One X, we know that the sound isn't perfect, but I think in the car we actually got away with it on this occasion. You know, given the context of it as a vlogging camera to document the journey to the ghost hunt, the sound was clear enough. Yes, it does pick up some strange extraneous sounds, and you've got some whirring noises every now and then. And some strange interference, but it was clear enough, and it did record it at a good enough level that you could hear it. In an ideal world, you'd want to use a separate radio mic and a zoom recorder and then sync the sound in the edit, but I think we have to put this into context of how we were using it, and inside, certainly inside, it was fine in the car. inside the prison I was unable to talk too much to the camera because it would interfere with the ghost hunt, and outside the prison that's when you really do have problems because wind noise is just a major killer. So tell me in the comments section about how you've used the ONE X as a vlogging camera and whether you think it's suitable. Please remember to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video.